What's up, brothers? This is going to be the video about the poll that I put up on my YouTube channel. If you haven't seen it yet, pause the video real quick. I mean, I have it right here, but pause the video real quick, go to my profile, go to the community tab thing and vote on this. Not that it really matters because I'm already you're already watching. Video's already been made. You're already watching the video about it, but I made a poll and then gathered some data to answer you guys. So this isn't really, I don't like to script a whole lot. It's a lot of work to do that. So I wrote down a few things, but you'll see that big wall of text here in a moment, but I'm kind of just winging it. So I want to get a couple of things out of the way. First, the poll. First, my Discord. I do have a Discord. It's a public Discord. All ICT traders. So if you're an ICT trader, you're welcome to join. I'm not going to teach you how to trade, but I do have some good resources on the 2022 mentorship that ICT put out, which will really give you a good idea, a good starting point to trading as concepts. So I'm not going to teach you how to trade, but you can use that if you want to learn. Ideally, you already know to join how to trade to join my group. Links in the description down there. Check that out. Second, I'm doing a community challenge right now. Apex is having an 80% off sale on their prop firm accounts and 1 day to pass. So you can full port the thing, pass the eval, and be funded the next day. If I hit a certain amount, which I put in here, if I hit 69 account signups by the end of April, by the end of this sale, I'll start doing some live streams, probably both on YouTube and Discord, maybe just the Discord. So go join. If we don't hit it by the end of April, then we'll see what sale they have for May, and we'll try again for May. So as far as the actual video goes, hopefully you stuck around long enough to get to the good stuff. Of the following options, what is the single most important aspect of trading? This will be the subject of my next video, which you're currently watching. So, A, a profitable, high win rate, easy to understand strategy. B, impeccable risk management. Or C, a highly disciplined psychology. I thought this was hilarious, so I'm just going to go ahead and say it. At least, this is all in my opinion, of course. You're all wrong. All of you that voted are wrong. The only right answer here is the one that didn't get any votes. Psychology. Your psychology is the single most important aspect of trading. And I'm going to explain to you why. With my 20, I came up with 20 laws or rules or ways to help you, 20 kind of laws for psychology in trading. So yes, having a good strategy, easy to understand strategy, that is important, and having good risk management, that is important. But without the psychology to stick to that, they don't even matter. If you don't have the psychology and the discipline to stick to your risk management and just throw it out the window because you're revenge trading, your risk management doesn't matter. And your strategy, whether it's high win rate or super profitable or easy to understand, is only as good as the strategy is, if it presents itself. There's so much time in the market where your strategy isn't present. And without good psychology, highly disciplined to know to wait for your strategy and to execute it properly, your strategy doesn't matter. I know people that have 30% win rates and they make bank, probably because they have good risk management and psychology. Okay, psychology is important, and I'm surprised nobody voted for it. So I'm going to pull up my wall of text here for you guys. These are the top 20 or my 20 rules or whatever, and I'm just going to run through them real quick, and I don't even remember what I wrote here. So I'm just going to run through it all and try to explain why I think psychology is the most important and some things to help you with that. And some of these things do play into the other two answers, but it all comes down to the core of it is your psychology. So first rule is staying in the now, staying in real time. Have tunnel vision. Okay, so tunnel vision, autopilot, your brain wants to be lazy, Your brain doesn't like doing a lot of work. It doesn't like burning energy. It doesn't like focusing. It wants to just veg out and take the easy route. That's just the way our brain works. It's a lot of energy to run that brain. So you have to keep the brain alert. It wants to be lazy. You have to fight that and stay focused and stay in the now, in real time. Which means identifying your anger, your emotions in the now. Close the charts no matter what. If you've got any kind of, if you're any kind of upset, any kind of whatever, you need to be in a good mentality. It's not worth one day. Yeah, you could have made $1,000 today, but you know what? You could also lost $1,000. It's just a day. So if you're not feeling it, walk away. Just as you leave home at home and you leave work at work, for those that have a job, you got to do the same with trading. You could have shit going on at home. You can't take that when you sit down at the charts. And if the day at the charts didn't go well, you can't take that back to your home, just like with your job. You got to keep those things separate and focus on what is happening right now. What are you doing right now? Are you trading right now? Doesn't matter what else is going on. Set it aside while you're trading so you can be focused. Number 2, accept everything the way it is. That's it. There's going to be a hard time accepting that there will be losses. And a lot of people have a hard time accepting that you will lose. And you will lose big. You will lose small. But there will be losses. There has to be. You can't have success without failure. Success doesn't exist without failure. Light doesn't exist if there's no dark. You wouldn't know the difference. It would just be. Things would just be with no opposition. You need failure in order to know what success is, in order to strive for success. So there will be losses, and that's okay. Number 3, use repetition. You have to do something good over and over and over. Build your mental muscle memory. Say that a few times fast because I could barely say it once. ICT uses the term, which I always thought was funny, to activating your reticular activation system. And I freaking laughed every time he said that. And I'm like, that's such a made up, ICT, he just says whatever. Just made up no, that's real. That's a real thing. Go Google it. Your reticular activation system is a real thing. Backtesting and using training resources. Backtesting is probably the best, like go to FX Replay or something like that. So use repetition. Do the good things, practice the good things over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. I always use basketball as an analogy for trading. The guys who made it to the NBA went to their court and shot the ball over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. That's how they got good. You can learn how to do something really, really fast, but to get good at something takes a long time. You can read a textbook on trading, exactly what you need to do. I know the strategy by heart. I read it, memorized it, now I know it. That doesn't mean shit. You got to go practice. Activate that reticular activation system in order to get better and better and better and better. Repetition, 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 repetition all day long until you get it. And even when you're good, even when you're bringing home money, take a couple days a week and just run through a backtest session just to keep yourself sharp. Number 4, peace of mind. You want a low stress level? I wear a heart monitor. I don't have it on me. It's a smartwatch. I wear a smartwatch that monitors my heart rate. And if I'm not in a trade yet, and my heart rate is past a certain number, I've got a number threshold that if I'm not in a trade and my heart rate is too high, I don't enter anything until it's below that number. When I'm in a trade, your heart rate, when anybody's in a trade, their heart rate's going to go up. That's just unavoidable, I think. If I ever get there, I'll correct that statement, but everybody's emotion spikes when you get in a trade. You can't really control that. All you can really control is how you manage that and what you do with that. So I just wear the heart rate so that I know that I'm calm, I'm collected, I'm thinking rationally, I'm in a good place to take a trade. So try that out. No distractions. Sometimes I play some background music, very calming, like piano music or lo-fi or classical, something very calming, not distracting. You don't want the TV on. You don't want, unfortunately, sometimes it is the way that it is, but you don't want your kids screaming in the background, your dog's barking at the squirrel. Try to eliminate as many distractions as you can so you can really focus on the chart and reading price. Use proper position size. I can tell you right now, if you're scared to enter, if you're scared of the loss, if you're fearful of a trade, chances are your position size is too big. You don't need to go in with a huge position. Small positions with base hits and just grow and grow and grow, they add up. So if your position size is too big, you're going to have fear. You're going to have anxiety. Your heart rate's going to spike as soon as you hit that button. And your stop loss is going to be moved around because I can't lose that much. You shouldn't have got in the trade with that much in the first place then. That's just the way that it is. You're buying that trade. So figure out what you're okay with losing and where you want to place your stop loss to prevent further loss. Your stop loss isn't like the mark of, okay, this is where I'm okay losing. Your stop loss is if it goes here or past here, this trade idea is wrong. And I don't want it to go further. So understanding and having it in your mind how stop losses are really supposed to work and proper position sizing, it shouldn't matter if you get your stop loss hit. You should be happy that it did. Like, awesome. Stop loss is there to protect me. Have a pre-trading routine. Every morning I do the same thing. I have a routine that I follow every single time before I get to the charts. And if I miss something doesn't always feel right for that day. And it's like, I just have to follow my routine. It's not like superstition or anything. It's just, your mind is in the right place and you do the same thing every day so that there's no variables that can mess you up by the time you get to the charts. You know what I mean? So find a good pre-trading routine, whether it's, like you always take a shower, you always eat breakfast, you meditate for a minute or step outside if it's not too cold or wherever you are, get some fresh air, and just kind of clear the head. Do something, have a routine, whatever it is you do, make it a routine before you get to the charts. And remind yourself of number 2, accept everything the way that it is. If you lost, you lost, not a big deal. It really isn't. It's one day. If you win, you win. It's not a big deal. Again, it's only one day. Tomorrow you could lose what you won today. I mean, by day basis, it really doesn't matter. What matters is you follow your plans, you follow your routines, you stick to these good psychology rules. Number 5, create good habits. As counterintuitive as it is, your brain doesn't want to work. Kind of already talked about that. Your brain doesn't want to work. It wants to do things that are easy. It wants things to just be second nature. It doesn't want to exert effort. That's a lot of energy. How does something become second nature? And good habits will build good routines to build second nature. So those are kind of like just bullet points that I was going to talk about. How does something become second nature? By doing it over and over and over and over again until you don't even have to think about it. Muscle memory is, mental muscle memory is just as real as any other muscle memory. You jump, for those of you that have been driving for years, you jump in a car and you just go. Like, your body just works. You just are the car and you know when to go and when to stop and when to slow down and speed up. Turn at how much of an angle do you turn here versus here? It just becomes second nature the more you do it. When you first jumped in the car and you first started learning, you had no idea what you're doing. Slamming on the brakes and and hitting the gas too hard. You don't even know how that works. Like, to gauge it properly. You don't know how much space you need to make a U-turn or how to parallel park. Now it's all just second nature. Parallel parking for some, maybe not, but the more you do it, the more it becomes second nature. But you have to do the good habits. If you have bad habits and you repeat them over and over again, they build bad routines, and that's just going to hurt you. So build the good habits. Find the bad ones that are affecting you negatively and how they need to change in order to affect you positively, and then do those so that you can change those bad habits into good ones. I know that's high level, but number 6, improve yourself. Like weightlifting. What happens if you the reason I say this is, what happens if you try to just walk into the gym and bench 300 pounds on your first day? That's not going to work very well. You're going to hurt yourself. So just like in trading, what happens if you walk into the market on your first day and throw down a 30 contract position? You're going to hurt yourself. So just like in weightlifting, you need to work up to it, build it, submit to it over time. Have clear trading goals, not P&L goals. So I may talk about it later. I'm not sure. Like I said, I don't really remember what I wrote, but the money doesn't matter. The actual dollar amounts do not matter at all. And I'll tell you, I still focus on it. It's really hard not to. You're like, just $100 a day, $200 a day, $1,000 a day, whatever it is. That's all I need. It's not. When you focus on the money, you will suck. I promise. Change everything that has to do with dollars to like ticks or percentages or something else, so you can't see the money. It's not about the money. It's about following your trading plan. It's about following your routine. It's about everything that I've already listed. And that will allow you to find a good trade, execute a good trade, and the money will follow. Don't focus on the money. Then you're going to be in too heavy of a position. Then you're going to cut it short because it flashed $200 and you're like, you know what I mean? Just don't focus on the money. I promise you. I promise you, you will do better. Number 7, eliminate fear intentionally. I don't know. Might have typoed that one. Practice the right things to reduce fear. How do you get rid of fear? Revenge trading. There really is no quick fix for it. I'll come back. You can't get rid of it, fear. You can only manage fear. Analyze and learn from your mistakes. So again, we kind of talked about fear earlier, where if you're afraid of losing, there's a cause to that. You're not just afraid of losing just because of losing. You're afraid of losing money. You're afraid of your choice, the decision you're making to enter a trade or not, being wrong. So you could be afraid to lose money. You could be afraid to be wrong. You could be afraid of what other people think about you, because if you're wrong and you fail, they're going to be like, haha, told you so. There's many over positioning. So I think I kind of already, anyways, there's always a reason for why you're going to have fear, and you need to practice the right things to reduce that. Like, don't give a shit about what other people think. First of all, don't talk about this to other people, because I promise you, they're going to be like, well, good luck. Well, it sounds really hard. I tried that once and failed. You probably will too. Like, nobody really is going to be that supportive. Why? Because people don't like when other people are more successful than they are. They don't want to go work 40 hours as a slave at their job while you're sitting at home making 3 times as much as they are. Some genuine people who are really close to you are going to be very proud of you. Deep down, they will be jealous, but a lot of them are, there's a lot of people that can be very supportive of you and keep that to themselves, but there's some that can't, and they're just going to crap all over your parade. So don't even bring it up until you're driving around in your new car and making enough money to not have a job and making your ends meet or whatever it may be. Just be like, look, I already did it. And then they can say, wow, good job. So you got to practice the right things to reduce fear. You're always going to be fearful in a position. I mean, really, there's going to be a little bit every time. That's just kind of how trading works. And I've done a lot of research to try to figure out I've gone through and watched videos of all kinds of successful traders. Really, this is all they do. They're making money. And you can, if you watch them, you can see it. And it's really a lot more noticeable when you watch them trade fast forwarded. So what I'll do is I'll go watch a live stream or I'll download the video so I can speed it up faster. And I'll watch these people with face cams and stuff like that before a trade as they're analyzing the market. You'll notice their eyes are moving around and at a certain pace, their head and stuff isn't really moving. They're not getting jittery and you can tell they're not tapping their leg under the desk and they're not fidgeting and twiddling and they're not doing any of that stuff. They're just analyzing the market, calm as a pickle. And they enter a trade and you can see their eyes darting around and they're fidgety and these are successful people. I wish ICT put a face cam on him because I want to see what he's like in a trade. I really do. But all these other people are like that. Their eyes get big. Their pupils dilate. They dart around and their head's moving here. And that's really all you get a lot of times with just a face cam, but you can see it. You can see that spike in adrenaline or heart rate or blood pressure or whatever it is, even on the most successful people. That's just the way it is. You can't get rid of it. You can only manage it. And they do a very good job at staying calm. They're not like some people who are just in it for the entertainment, screaming and hollering, and you think you know who I'm talking about all over YouTube. That's asinine. It's ridiculous. It's a joke. But that's not how you trade. That's not the way to be successful. So, and analyzing and learning from your mistakes. The only way to eliminate fear is to see where you went wrong and fix your mistakes and know that that isn't a mistake anymore. And the less mistakes that you have, the more that you have learned from and adjusted and turned into no longer being mistakes, the more confident you'll be and the less fear you will have. Number 8, fully commit. You have to give it your all. And I mean all. If you really, really want trading to be your thing, it can't just be a little side hustle. It can't just, it can, but that's all that it's going to be. You know what I mean? You can't treat it as a side hustle and just all of a sudden have it turn into this thriving, $1 million making, this is all you got to do for the rest of your life. It's always, you get out of it what you put into it. Okay. So if you give it half your effort, for whatever reason, sometimes you have to, because you have a job or you have a family or you whatever, you can only give it half an effort. It's only going to give you back that same thing. So you have to give it your all. I have personally put in more time into trading than I have at any job ever. I work at trading 15, 16, 17 hours a day, every single day. I'm at the chart from market open to market close, reading live price, trading, whether it's real or demo, paper money, because I'm trying to train muscle memory. Whether it's real or fake, it doesn't matter. The money doesn't matter. People are all like, oh, it's just demo. You're a demo baller, paper king. And did you execute a trade that ran 300 points with pyramiding in contracts and scaling them out at proper levels? No, you didn't. You lost that day. I might have been paper, but the money doesn't matter. The execution, what I saw, what I analyzed, what I did, and how it ended. That's it. Where's my entry? Where's my exit? How did I manage myself in that trade? Was there real money involved? No. But there will be next time when I change the account and do the exact same friggin' thing again. It's all about repeating, right? So you got to give it your all. You got to give it hours. Hours, and hours. You got to make sacrifices in order for this to work. And I'm going to put a video out soon about, what did I title it? Hang on, hold on. I don't know, something about the real truth to becoming a trader. It's not daisies and rainbows and butterflies. The actual truth of becoming a trader. And there's a bunch of videos out there that are similar to that. Trading's hard, yada, yada, yada. But I'm going to make a video about it that explains this. And I'm going to get probably a little spirited. A little emotional maybe. We'll see. Trading is hard and people don't talk about the truth enough. So, speed bumps will happen. You can't give up. That's pretty self-explanatory. You might blow an account. You might lose thousands of dollars. You might whatever. If you want it, don't give up. If you're running a marathon and trip on a stick, are you done? No. You keep fucking going. You get up and you keep running. Unless you shatter your kneecap or something. You know what I mean? Write down your why. You need to have a why for trading. Why are you doing this? This is the hardest thing you're ever going to do. The hardest thing you're ever going to do. Why are you doing it? Because you're going to lose motivation. And your why will help you feel motivated again. Print it off, draw a picture, find a picture, cut out a magazine if they exist anymore. I don't care. Whatever. Stick it to your desk, your wall, your forehead. Put it out there so you can see it and know your why every single day. Is it freedom? Is it, I don't know, simply, I need a new gaming setup. And so I'm going to trade until I get that. Is it to buy a house? Is it to help your family? Is it whatever it is? Print something off, draw something out. I don't know. And have it in front of your desk so you can see it. All right, number 9, proper position sizing. We've already covered this a couple of times. You can't think about the money. You frame your trade out with a position tool or something. Are you okay with losing that much? Ask yourself this every time. Your stop loss is going to typically vary in size. Are you okay with that? Or is that too much loss? Then just don't take the trade. Or scale your position down to be an amount you're willing to risk. That's okay. It really is. If the stop loss is huge, but the trade looks great, use 1 micro. It's not about the money. It's about you saw a trade. You properly executed it. You followed your trading plan, and the money will follow. I'm going to say it probably another 7 times. Number 10. Never stop searching for ways to improve. You're never going to be perfect at this. Without this, you're going to keep doing the same things over and over and over again. And if those things are bad, you're going to fail. If you keep improving, you will see success. This takes much longer than people think, which I'm also going to cover in The Truth About Becoming a Trader. So, never stop searching for ways to improve. Document each day. Make a journal. I know it's like, especially for men, I got to journal my thoughts and feelings. Yeah, dude. You got to journal your thoughts and feelings, okay? You got to write down what happened that day. Write down what happened the night before. from market close until market open. Write down everything that happened and then how you're feeling in that at market open, and document what you're seeing in price as it's playing, how you're feeling. This isn't looking good. This looks really choppy, and I'm not sure. I'm going to take a trade today. Write all that shit down. Write it all down. And you can go back and analyze it and be like, man, every time I didn't sleep good, I lost the next day. Every time I felt unsure because the market was kind of doing like seek and destroy and getting choppy, every time that happened, I took a loss on some trade that I thought I found. You know, like you can go see these things if you go back and analyze. So document it all and find ways to improve. Number 11, be realistic with yourself. You can't get rich overnight. You can't. Trading is not an overnight thing. I promise. It's usually not even in a year or two. It's going to take you a long time. It is. It's just how it works. Can you win 10,000 every day? No. Can you win 10,000 in a day? Yeah. That has happened. Is it going to happen every day? No. Don't tell yourself it's going to happen every day. Because it's not. Even the really, really, really good people don't make 10,000 every single day. It ends up being 10,000 on Monday and Wednesday, and then like $100 on Tuesday and $5,000 on Thursday. Like, it's going to vary. You're not going to get $10,000 every day or whatever number. Okay. So don't tell yourself that. Don't shoot. The money doesn't matter. Here we go. The money doesn't matter. You want to get, I don't know, find one good setup a day. Great. Did that setup get you $100? Did that setup get you $1? Did the setup not quite happen right, so you got break even? That's okay. You still found a good setup every single day. That's what counts. Will you understand this concept in a month? Whatever the concept is, right? 2022 mentorship model, you going to understand it in a month? No. Are you going to know everything about it because you watched the mentorship? Sure. But I can go read a textbook about anything and know it. That doesn't mean I understand it. That doesn't mean it will be successful for me. You have to practice over and over and over again. So don't think you're going to be able to understand something. Like, don't tell yourself it's going to be quicker than what it really is. Submit to the time and give it time. Everyone moves at a different pace. So there could be somebody who learns something, I don't know, market maker buy models, and they make bank in 2 weeks time, and they learned it, and now they're just like awesome at it. 2 weeks. That's great. It took somebody else 2 years. Well, guess what? Everybody's different. So don't like get hard on yourself because somebody else learned it quicker than you or something like that. Don't be negative about yourself like that. Number 12, don't talk about trading to people who don't trade. Kind of already said this earlier too. They're not going to understand. They're not going to be positive, and they're going to expect you to be instantly successful. I can't tell you how many people that I've made the mistake of telling, and they don't know anything about it. They don't understand. Honestly, they don't see it any differently than pulling the lever on a slot machine. And I have to explain to them why it's different. People see trading as gambling, and they think you're no better than a gambler. And we all know it's not gambling. There's a strategy behind it. There's decision making. There's analysis. And sometimes with certain gambling games, those things exist too. But most of them, you hit a button and you see what happens. There's no strategy. There's no analysis. There's no repeating patterns. There's no seasonality. There's nothing like that to give you any edge. There's no edge in gambling, except for like poker and some other things. That's not just pushing a button and see what happens. So they're not going to understand. What did I put here? We get a great career. Oh, if you have a great career, you get paid 2 weeks later. Instant success. Trading's not like that. I don't really need, that's pretty self-explanatory. It's going to take time to get your payouts. It's going to take time to make profit. It's different than a job. You can't just jump into a job. No matter how well you do, for the most part, you're getting paid in 2 weeks. It's just the way it is. I struggle with it a lot. I made $3,000 today, and I'm super happy. I'm in a really good mood. But I don't get to see any of that yet. You don't get to see the money until you reach the threshold for payout or whatever it is. You could make any amount of money in a day, and sometimes it doesn't matter, really, because you don't get to pocket it. Whereas with a job, you do. You know what I mean? Like you get it's instant. You get paid for the time. Done and done. Trading's not like that. It's a lot of talking, guys. Almost done. These are really important, though, so hopefully you stuck around to listen. You can obviously fast forward, but there's a lot of good stuff in here. So, number 13, live healthy. Healthy life. Oh, healthy life, healthy charts. You've heard of healthy wife, or a happy wife, happy life. So it's kind of similar to that, although I think that saying is relatively toxic. Healthy life directly affects healthy charts. Living a healthy life with beneficial routines, like mentioned before, no chaos, no negativity, no stress, no late nights, no drugs, no alcohol. All of that stuff is going to negatively affect you. Whether it's negativity in your life as a whole, you're negative to yourself, you're negative to others. I don't know. There's additional things that are stressing you out. Unfortunately, some of that stuff is unavoidable. Okay. So you really have to figure out how to compartmentalize and separate those things from you when you get to the charts. You got to put them over there and close the closet door. I don't know. You just gotta get rid of them somehow, because you can't bring that stuff to the charts. You bring it to the game, and it's the, what is it? I don't do sports. What's the NBA Final Four tournament thing? You're gonna blow it, dude. Okay, you gotta leave that stuff. Healthy life, healthy charts. Number 14, journal everything. We also kind of talked about that. Journal your thoughts, journal your feelings, your behaviors, as well as your trade stats. Well, all those things are just as important as the other one. My battery might be dying on my camera, so I'm going to hurry up. You have to journal all of that stuff, because all of that stuff will affect you, and you can go back and analyze it, like I said before, and see every time I felt this way, the day did not go good in the charts. Okay. So when you're feeling that way, you can just avoid the charts and till you figure out how to resolve that piece of it. Journal your bedtimes, your wake up times, whether you ate or not before going to the charts. Did you work out? Did you have water? Did you have coffee? Did you have something else? Did you have any recent arguments with your significant other? Did you sleep bad? Sleep tracker. That's the other thing I was going to mention and forgot. So I'm glad I put a note in here. That smartwatch tracks my sleep. If I have, which it gives me a numerical 80 out of 100 tonight and 75 out of 100, it tells me how good, quote unquote, my sleep was. If I have a certain number or less, I don't trade. I have to get good sleep in order to come to the charts and have a good session. So I'm pretty good at getting good sleep. It's usually not a concern, but sometimes it happens. Track that stuff because it matters. Number 15, and then I have no 16 or 17, so that's fun. Number 15, confidence. If you're guessing, don't trade if the charts aren't clear. That's gambling. Don't just guess. Don't just hit a button and see what happens. It doesn't work. And if it does work, it reinforces that it will work, and it won't. Promise. Not analyzing your mistakes. You need to analyze your mistakes and fix them, and that will build your confidence. You'll be like, oh, duh, I saw that. I'm not going to make that mistake again. Boom. Now it's not a worry anymore, and now you boosted your own confidence. You found something out that will better you, right? You have to believe in yourself right here. You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe you can do it. I don't care if you fail. I could go back and pull up the charts now, but I don't want to drag this video out any longer than it is. I don't know, between January and March, I pretty much lost 80% of the time. I had a 2-week losing streak every single day at one point. Blown accounts, almost getting to payout, and then going all the way back to break even. The first couple of months of this year were not good, but I never stopped believing in myself. I have to make some adjustments, like maybe I got to get a side job or do something else to grab some extra cash, because I haven't been doing this long enough to build up a buffer to cover for the bad months, which eventually I'll get to and it won't be a problem. But you have to believe in yourself, because nobody else is going to. If you can't believe in yourself, you're never going to make it. Number 18, I guess, be organized. It's easy to pick the wrong account when you sign in to trade. It's easy to trade minis instead of micros on accident. Organization reduces stress. So not only do you have to have routines pre-market before you sit down at the charts, you have to have routines as soon as you sit down. Make sure you're logged into the right account. Make sure your trade copier is set up properly. Make sure you're on minis instead of micros, or micros instead of minis. Make sure your position sizes are ready to go. Make sure all of your check boxes are met. And the only thing left that you have to do is enter the trade. All you have to do is hit the button as far as setup goes. Okay. Number 19, no negative self-talk ever. Literally never. You have to believe in yourself. We just literally just talked about that. Do not call yourself names. Do not say that was stupid of me. Do not say I am an idiot for doing that. I can't believe I didn't see that. I'm blind. Don't do that shit. Don't bring yourself down. That is going to stick with you so much longer. It's going to take so much longer to get out of that than if you're like, all right, well, I see where I went wrong and I'm going to document it. That's it. This is why the setup failed. Because I did not notice we took liquidity already. That's all it says. None of that is bad. None of that is negative. None of that is calling you an idiot because you didn't see that we took liquidity already. It's just stating the facts. You didn't see that liquidity was taken. You know what I mean? Don't be negative on yourself in your journaling, but don't do it in your head either. Don't. It's going to be hard. Promise you, it's going to be hard. I've spent so many days and nights saying, I can't do this. I can't. I'm going to talk about that in the real truth about becoming a trader. But don't do that. And number 20, everyone can scratch the surface. Everyone can understand the basics. That's not enough. Get deep. Get deep into the details, not only about the market and the strategy. Get deep in the details and the nitty-gritty about you. Get uncomfortable. Get in there like, it's giving me goosebumps to think about. Just get in there, like figure yourself out and sit there and think about like, why am I doing this? For real, why am I doing it? And why am I afraid? Why do losses hurt me? I spent $14.95 on this eval and I blew it. Why does that even matter? It's $14. You didn't take $1,000 loss. You didn't lose anything. So when you get into those details and figure that stuff out and realize this is $14, okay? It's okay. I'm okay. It's all good. You got to get in there. You really got to understand yourself. You really got to think about what affects you, what comes to mind, what emotions rise up when certain things happen, good or bad. Get deep with it, because everybody can scratch the surface. But the only ones that are going to make it are the ones that do more than that. You have to do more than everybody else. If you just do what everybody else does, everybody else is failing. The masses do not succeed at this. 1%. Or maybe it's 10%. I don't know. That's all. That's all the amount of people that make it. 90% of people, will go with that one, fail at this. They give up. They whatever. So you have to do something different than everybody else. You have to do more than everybody else. So take responsibility. That's my closing line. Take responsibility. It is all on you. It's not the market's fault. It's not your mentor's fault. It's not your cat's fault. Sometimes it is your cat's fault. Take responsibility. It's you who are responsible for your results when it comes to trading. You have the power. Use it for good. You have the power to fail. You have the power to make yourself fail. You have the power to make yourself succeed too. So I'm going to put this, copy and paste all of this in the description. I'm going to have to get rid of the disclosure, but obviously this is not financial advice, and I didn't really talk about financial advice anyways. I'm going to put all this in the description, copy and paste it, save it, read it, whatever. These are really, really good things to get started with. I've got some more up here, but this video is too long. So it's all on you, and you can do it. And there's apparently 16, 17, only 18 rules that I came up with to help. And again, if you want to talk more about anything, any of this, join my Discord. It's not me mentoring. It's not me teaching. It's not me doing any of that. And it's all free. I'm not ever going to charge for anything. And we'll talk about all of this stuff. We'll talk about trading. We'll talk about all of this. So it's in there. Go check it out. Otherwise, thanks for sticking around if you did. I know it's a long video. Most people only make it 5 minutes and, whatever. But appreciate you, and we'll see you on the next one.